The UFC referee with, you know what, borderline downs. I'm going to find a way to get that message across in the title of this video. This guy's retarded. Dan Miragliotta is not sentient enough of a human being to be trusted in the position of a UFC referee where fighters' lives are at risk and their careers are on the line. This guy is so dumb, and they need to get him out of that position immediately, because we all know what happened at UFC Vancouver. The amount of mistakes this guy made, including in the fight of Nelson versus Frevola where he messed up the stoppage. I'm going to go through all of this in today's video. We're going to go through this moment here with Dan Miragliotta. But I said in the fight companion that I did with Lucas Tracy in Bedtime MMA, I said this guy is retarded and he needs to lose his job. He's experiencing obvious mental decline and cognitive decline, I think I said. And we're going to go through that as well. But then I started thinking to myself, hang on a second. This guy's been retarded for a very long time. This isn't some recent stuff. I've always seen terrible stoppages from Dan Miragliotta, and they're not ones you can understand. There's certain Herb Dean decisions like the Robbie Lawler, Ben Askren front choke that he had him in, or the Bulldog choke that he had him in, where you're like, okay, that was a bad call from Herb Dean, but I understand why he made that mistake. There are situations, including this guy, Dan Miragliotta, where you think to yourself, there is no explaining this beyond the reality that this guy's dumb and shouldn't be a UFC referee and shouldn't be able to referee any combat sports for that matter. I made a video about this when it comes to Mark Goddard and his rage problem. Now I'm going after Dan Miragliotta and his extra chromosome that is obvious for the world to see. We're going to go through some of these moments. We've got this moment here, Frevola versus Nelson. Then we've got this moment here where he told Kevin Holland that it's accidental, so therefore if Holland doesn't continue, he's getting DQ'd. I didn't even hear this because I didn't have audio when doing my fight companion. Then we'll go through some more moments. The Ngannou versus Ferreira stoppage was Dan Miragliotta. We'll go through some other... This stoppage between Pulev and Frank Mir was Dan Miragliotta. When I show you some of these, you'll be shocked that this guy still has a job. The Jacare Souza, Chris Weidman stoppage was Dan Miragliotta. Then I'm going to go through his historic beef that he seems to have with Michael Venom Page, where he's attempted to ruin Michael Venom Page's career when he was still can-crushing on the Bellator scene. And, you know, the opinion of this was different at the time, but now it doesn't matter your opinion on what MVP was doing to those poor guys that shouldn't have even been in there with him. Dan Miragliotta's officiating in those fights was unprofessional, to say the least. So that's what we're going to go through in today's video. And we're going to sprinkle on a few other examples as well, just in case that isn't enough to convince you. I'm starting with this moment here. Waves off the fight. So when I watched this live, I thought, oh my God, he stepped in. Okay, first round TKO. I raged about this. Okay? Like, I wasn't raging. I was happy, but it was a late stoppage to me. Like, already he's late to step in and stop the fight. I didn't even realize that he stepped in with 3 seconds to go in the round. Big shots from Nelson on Frevola. I'm going to pause this as much as I can so I don't get done in by the UFC for using their footage. Big shots. This fight should have been stopped. Long before this, he's been punching on him. Dan Miragliotta comes to the rescue. 3 seconds left in round 1 and stops the fucking fight. Watching this live on the fight companion, I thought to myself, damn, you know, I guess he stepped in for the end of the round. He didn't even stop that fight. That's crazy. We're going into a round 2. I had no idea he stepped in 3 seconds early in the round. He did not hear the bell to end the round. He did not stop the round. He stopped the fucking fight, forgot to wave it off. We get a whole moment where we're like, okay, great win from Kyle Nelson. What a performance from him. Great first round finish. Miragliotta just lets it resume. Maybe realizes, I shouldn't have stepped in. He's still alive. Frevola's still twitching a little bit on the ground. He's still breathing. Yamasaki level shit. So he continues the fight and we go into a round 2. I'm foaming at the mouth here. I'm spitting on my microphone, guys. This is crazy. Dan Miragliotta is not trusted to be a ref. And this isn't the only mistake. I gave my reaction to this live, and I'm going to show you this right now where I gave my reaction to this. And I said this on the live stream, okay, that we were watching. Listen to what I say when Dan Miragliotta steps in here. Can I say something right now?
Yes.
What's the name of that ref? Miragliotta?
Is that Miragliotta? Yeah.
He is blatantly experiencing cognitive decline. He needs to lose his fucking job. I'm sick of that dumbass fucking ref. So slow on everything. He's a fucking retard. Get his job gone. I'm sick of that dumb retard ref. I see it too many times with him, man. He's losing his brain straight up. I feel like I'm watching Biden in his fucking going into a
what the fuck was he looking for?
Immediate reaction was that, because I know I've seen examples of Dan Miragliotta messing up fights like this before, but I just didn't know in my head. I didn't have the examples to hand to list off and rattle off. Well, that's what I'm going to do in this video. He's not fit to be a ref. He's too fucking dumb. And when I show you some of these other examples, then I realize they're continuing for the next round. Jesus Christ,
that was a late
man.
stoppage.
He waited for Frevola to come back awake. I was angry at this point because it was a late stoppage to me. Not that I knew he'd stepped in 3 seconds before the end of the round and had stopped the fight. It's so dumb to me. I'm out the fucking sport, man. Sick of that retard. Sorry.
Are they sending it to what? Round 2?
What?
What do you mean?
Are you kidding me?
What? It's not over. Oh my God, the fight's still on. Oh my God, the fight's still on. Oh no, wait.
Literally jumped in before the bell.
Oh my. Bedtime says he jumps in before the bell. God, the fight. Oh my God. What did I tell you about this ref? He didn't even stop
wait a second.
He didn't even stop it. What did I tell you about that ref? He's actually so fucking dumb that the mistake that he made didn't even stop there. It got worse and worse and worse. We're done with this moment then for now, okay? We're done with this moment for now. This is just one. Nelson versus Frevola. Ruins Nelson's moment, makes him fight an extra 2 rounds because of his dumb mistake that he's too dumb to own up to. Steps in 3 seconds early, thinks, oh, fuck, maybe I shouldn't have stopped that. Okay, don't wave it off. Let's go to a round 2. Playing dumbass fucking ego games like that with fighters' careers. Dumbass. I'm going to have to stop using retarded and say that. But, you know, I'm already demonetized. This guy's a fucking retard, dude. This guy's a retard. Then there was this moment with Kevin Holland, and I didn't even know he said this. But listen to what he said to Kevin Holland, and maybe this would explain why Holland was a bit too... I still think this is Kevin Holland our moment, where he gets a built-in excuse for why he lost, and all of this. We still haven't had a medical report as far as I'm aware. But this is a very Kevin Holland moment, which is why he was being so vague. But Miragliotta, so dumbly in the moment, where there's been calm, says this to Kevin Holland. So since it was accidental, if you can't continue, you're going to lose by DQ. Kevin Holland got hit in the groin by Mike Mallet. Ish, if we're being real. But still, he did get hit in the groin. It did touch the cup. How cleanly it wasn't as bad as the Dober versus Prepolek one. No way, no how. Which got a point taken away. But Miragliotta just said to him, if you can't continue, because Mallet was accidental about this, you're going to get DQ'd. He says that to Kevin Holland, who's just been groin-shotted. Oh, if you can't continue, it was accidental from Mallet, so we're going to have to DQ you, Kevin. You've been hit in the groin. You're DQ'd. That's a DQ loss for Kevin Holland. How does that make any sense? This guy's a dumb meathead. And most referees in MMA, bar like Herzog, Mark Smith, I think, is another one that's pretty good right now as well. Most referees in MMA are fucking retarded meatheads that never made it as fighters themselves from the 1980s or 90s that are just here getting a little ego trip because they have a power dynamic over the fighters that they couldn't have accomplished and been themselves. It's really, really lame to me, man. And there's more examples if you thought I was done there. This is just off the top of my head, by the way. This is just off the top of my head. There are definitely more examples of him doing this. Bullshit stoppage here with Ngannou versus Ferreira. Just look at this. Ground and pound. Look who comes into frame. Maybe I should get a closer look. Ngannou's raining down punishment on Ferreira. Bang. Another big shot from Ngannou lands. Where am I on the screen right now? Okay, we're in a good position. Bang. Another big shot. Ferreira's out. This is Francis fucking Ngannou. Not Valentina Shevchenko, all right? This is Francis Ngannou. Raining down shots on an opponent here. Ferreira gets hit in the back of the head. He's still watching. Another big shot directly to the back of the head from Ngannou. Guess who's still fucking watching? Nope. Gonna step in. Gets in the fucking way of Ngannou. Nope. Another massive back of the head shot from Ngannou flattens Ferreira out cold. Nope. Still not fucking done. Still not done. Bang. Oh, just an extra one to make sure. Just an extra one to make sure. This dumb idiot needs to lose his job before he kills someone. He's watching Ngannou smash Ferreira in the back of the head. Out cold once. Flatlined the second time. Okay? Flatlined the second time. And he's like, oh, he's still hesitating. Watch the hesitation from him here. Bang. Oh, not yet. Now I'll go in. Now I'll go in. Idiot. Refs don't make dumb decisions. This is Yamasaki level shit. Lose the job. You wouldn't let this guy fly a plane full of people. You wouldn't let this guy fucking drive a school bus around. Let alone a plane full of people. Why is he a UFC referee? Incompetence should equal firing when lives are on the line. It does in nearly every other field of work. Why doesn't it with UFC referees? And why do judges get to continually ruin lives as well? Not that lives are on the line, but still. We never hold these people accountable. So I'm holding this idiot accountable. He's dumb. Watch this shit as well. By the way, look at this idiot's fucking bald head creeping into frame. My God, look at this dumbass. Full view of this whole situation, by the way. Frank Mir versus Kubrat Pulev. This is a mismatch to begin with. Pulev's a fucking Olympian. He's fought for world titles in boxing before. I don't know if he was a former world champion. Every boxer's a world champion or some fucking bullshit. I think Tommy Fury's a fucking world champion or something. That's how shit boxing is. But he's a top-level boxer, heavyweight boxer, and he's fighting 50-year-old Frank Mir. Okay? Absolute mismatch at triad combat, where it's basically a boxing fight, but they're in a triangle ring. That's the situation, all right? Absolute mismatch. Pulev's probably a minus 20,000 favorite over Mir. Let me pause this and cancel the audio. Big shot. Look how Mir is boxing as well, by the way. Just opens up, gets smacked across the jaw by Pulev with a clean right hand. He's out on his feet. Miragliotta gets a good look. He's out on his feet here. Another big shot lands. He's out on his feet, doesn't know where he is. Nope, not yet. Nope, not yet, says Miragliotta. Oh, now we'll step in. This is an idiot. Get him out of the job, please, before someone dies. This is an idiot. And no one calls him it because he'll have one moment where he tells a fighter off and retards on TikTok or Instagram Reels or any clip like that, YouTube short comment sections, will type things like, don't mess with the referees, they're real badasses. That's what will happen. Get him out of it. Look at what just happened there. This is Frank Mir, 50-year-old man versus fucking Pulev. Wobbled out on his feet. Nope. Left hand. Nope. Still alive to me. Still alive to me. This ain't no world championship. Even if it is, this is a terrible stoppage. Still alive to he looks like he's still breathing to me, Pulev. Come over here and finish him off. Dude, Mir is looking at Miragliotta with googly eyes right now. He's not looking at his opponent. He's looking at Miragliotta. Staring right at him. All over the place. No, not over yet. Pulev waddles in like he doesn't even want to do this. Like, oh God, is this ref actually going to make me kill this guy in the ring right now? This is wild. Okay, I guess so for the paycheck. He wanders in, doesn't really want to throw. Doesn't load up anything. Shout out to Pulev for not continuing here. But then the referee finally gets in the way. Finally he gets in the way. This guy's going to get someone hurt. This guy's going to get someone hurt. We go on to yet another example. This is all recent history, by the way. This is the furthest one back, 2 years ago. From whenever this was... Oh, no, this is way longer, 7 years ago. But still, recent history. The guy's been around for a long time. 7 years this was, man. I'm going to die soon. I was 20 when this... Damn, dude. Fucking hell. Scary. You know what I mean? Sometimes you hear that about fights. That was fucking... Dude, McGregor Aldo was fucking 11 years ago. Fucking hell, dude. That's crazy. Anyway, here we go. Jacare Souza, Chris Weidman. I'm going to show it from when he gets dropped, because I know the UFC's on me trying to get me. He's out cold from the knockdown, Weidman is, yeah? Let's see who saunters into frame like a big dumb tard ready to save the day. Let's see who's responsible for Chris Weidman's life while he's in this situation in front of a trained killer like Jacare Souza 7 years ago. Watch it. Don't worry. Miragliotta runs in. Nah, he's not dead yet. Ooh, let me not do that. Jacare looks at him because he makes a little shoulder contact with Jacare. Okay? Doesn't step in, though. Weidman's just flopping about on the ground. He's not with it on the ground. Miragliotta pushes Jacare a little bit here as well. No. Keep going. No. Oh, okay. He's literally going to fucking die. And Jacare rightfully is fucking angry at the ref and starts gesturing at him like, come on, dude. Are we really that dumb here? Even I know this guy's done. Watch it in full speed, though. It's always risky to do this. Watch this whole sequence. Pushes Jacare a little bit there. Makes contact with him. No. Looks around. Okay, yeah, he's actually going to fucking die. Let's call this off. Terrible. He's actually going to get... This is the hesitancy. I'll take a Mark Goddard early stoppage over this any day. Where if he immediately looks and goes, no, it's over. It's fucking over. To Israel Adesanya against Alex Pereira, which I don't even think was an early stoppage, but I did want to see Adesanya out cold face first on the canvas. I'll take an early stoppage from Herzog over this. A weird, don't know, kind of grey area stoppage from Herb Dean where he's a little bit further away than the fighter than he should be. These are all intricate things that can happen in the heat of the moment. This guy's too dumb to do this job. Hesitating, standing there, pushing a little bit, but no, not quite. The MVP situation is even crazier to me. MVP loses a point, clowning hometown guy Richard Keeley delivers a flying knee KO. Now, this was a time, and MVP's going to complain about this as well. Rightfully so. But at this time, no one really liked MVP at all because a lot of new UFC fans might not know this, but MVP was bullying the regional scene. And everyone was demanding, when's he going to make it to the UFC? When's this guy going to come to the UFC? When's he going to fight an up-and-coming bit of competition? I think he might have already lost to Lima at this stage. I'm not sure. But no one really liked MVP and his antics at this point in his career. Okay? So people are like, fuck MVP, mocking some guy that don't even belong in there with him. The guy's got like a terrible record. MVP's supposed to be fighting top-level comp. So no one really reacted the way that they should have in this situation. But officiating is officiating. Miragliotta has no fucking right to do this. It's bullshit. MVP's beating up this poor guy 2 minutes into round 1 that shouldn't be in there with him, fair play. And he starts gesturing to take selfies. Okay? Starts gesturing to take selfies while he's on top of this guy. The angle's going to change, and he's like posing for a camera. He's trying to hit an edit on this guy. This was all MVP was doing back in the day with the Pokeball. He was a showman. That's basically what it was. He was just fighting lower level guys and just racking up highlight reels against them. Jump knees, tornado kicks, all sorts. Miragliotta steps in after he does a little look like that. Imagine this in modern day UFC. Forget the level of competition. Someone starts mocking someone like that. The referee does what? Steps in, okay, to stop the fucking fight? No, that would be also retarded, but not retarded enough for a Dan Miragliotta activity. Stands it up, timeout, he says, takes a fucking point off MVP. Sorry, no showboating. I don't know if MVP has ever had Dan Miragliotta ref a fight of his in the UFC, and if he hasn't, it's probably because MVP said so, which we'll get to in a second as well when I break down the interview of him reacting to this. Miragliotta takes a point off of him, and MVP's looking at his corner like, can you fucking believe this shit? I'm beating up this guy. I did a little pose for a selfie and then punched him again. Bad manners. Yeah, poor sportsmanship. You're fighting a can. There's no honor in that. But perfectly okay to do. You got a problem with who he's doing it to? Cool. Have a problem with it. Don't stand him up. Stop it. Time out. This guy, I don't like this guy. Point off. I don't like the way this guy's behaving. Take a point away. Are you fucking dumb? Takes a point off MVP. 1 point. 1 point. Makes it all about him. He's a big dumb retard meathead. 1 minute 13. Okay? MVP actually gets to finish. I want you to pay close attention to this fucking idiot's face in the background, yeah? This absolute idiot's face in the background. While MVP gets a finish in this same fight later on after the point has been taken, yeah? It's a nasty finish. Just look at that face of the guy above me. Of that big idiot above me on the screen, yeah? Jump knee. Referee should be thinking, wow, jump knee just happened. I need to save that guy's life. He's just been switched off by a flying knee. What is going through Dan Miragliotta's dumb head? You can see him right above me right now, yeah? Look at his facial expression. Fucking hell. I'm going to have to step... Oh, fuck, man. Now I'm going to have to fucking step in. He got a highlight. Fuck. That's what he's thinking about there. Not, oh my God, this guy's just been flying lead. I need to save him. Oh my God, our fucking MVP, man. What a cunt. And now I've got to step in and have a highlight for him. For fuck's sake. Like that. He's actually pissed off with the fact that he had to step in there. And I didn't like MVP back there. Now he's doing it to UFC fighters. It's a lot cooler. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, oh my God, he's actually doing this to the elites of the world. But back here, it was like, all right, buddy, you beat some fucking Khan in his hometown and fucking styled on him. You're not good. And then Lima KO'd him and everyone was like, yeah. But look at this. Someone's been flying kneed. Referee's reaction is to protect fighters. That's their only job. Protect the fighters. Fuck's sake, I'm going to have to step in and stop this. Like if he could, he'd rather let it go on and see what would happen here. You know what I mean? That's his first emotion on his face. Not, oh my God, Mark Goddard would be like, oh shit, sprint across the cage trying to stop it. Herb Dean would immediately hit his Trackstar Pros. Herb Dean would be fucking back here, by the way. That needs to be said. Herb Dean would be off screen right now. So that's something about Herb Dean that we can maybe get into, but it's not that bad. But he'd be off the camera. He wouldn't even be in shot right now. That's how far away Herb Dean would be. But they'd be sprinting to the guy to see if he's hurt and to see if they need to jump across his body and step in. Miragliotta's thinking, fuck's sake, I'm going to have to step in. MVP's done it again. I fucking hate him. And then MVP actually had some words about this afterwards. And the comments of this video are literally saying, fucking, this guy fucking deserves it. Showboating on lesser opponents. When Douglas Lima shows up, he don't want nothing to do with it and all of this. Because that was the consensus opinion about MVP for many years. He did can crush for about a decade. Okay? He did. But listen to this, and this is absolutely right. He goes through how Miragliotta is.
Now, in all honesty, Dan, for me, has a personal issue with me.
Dan Miragliotta has a personal issue with him. I'm going to have to translate because the audio's shit. They're only Bellator. It's not like they're trying to compete with the UFC or anything. Retard company. Another shit company. Either way, sorry. Has a personal problem with him.
I don't know where it come from. My second Bellator fight, I was walking down the ramp backstage. Now, I remember, you're trying to get yourself into the zone. Everyone knows me. I'm a showman. I came out with my glasses and he's like, take them off. It's not Hollywood.
Second Bellator show, he's getting in the zone, everyone knows me, I'm a showman, he has his glasses on, and Miragliotta goes up to him and says, take them off, it's not Hollywood. I believe it. I do believe it, based on his smirk there, like, fucking. Based on the point deduction there as well, for a little selfie, bang, another punch, that ain't even that bad. If he's doing some proper showboating stuff to the point where he's barely fighting, call it what it is. But the fact that he's mid-ground and pound, takes a second to go, take a picture, smile, punch again. Take a point, little fucking annoyed little look on his face when MVP gets a flying near. I get it. He does have something out for him. I believe this story.
Now this is the first time I've ever met him. Didn't know, and straight away I felt a bit rubbed up the wrong way, but just let it go, took my glasses off and carried on. Put on the show. And now to see that again, that was disgusting. Not only did he give me two, technically, minus a point and pick me up from a fight-ending position, he pushed me at the end and called me a piece of shit.
I didn't see that bit. pushed MVP out there or at the end, maybe afterwards, backstage, who knows, and called him a piece of shit.
Now, nobody should do that. That says to me there's something personal there. I don't know what it is.
I don't think there's any personal. I just think this guy's a dumb little retard, and he sees someone doing like some cool shit and goes, "Oh, fucking punk kid. Dude, I'm a meathead. I'm probably on TRT. I'm a meathead. Dude. This fucking young punk thinks he knows better. I'll show him who's really in charge here." When he's supposed to be just officiating a fight. Power trip. He can't be trusted in this job.
But I demand an apology from him. Right? He's never refereeing me ever again.
Is that why the coaching staff seemed to be very angry with him afterwards? I saw that.
Apparently the coaching staff said he was angry with him afterwards. And then he says that the coaches offered him out backstage. Which is English for offered to fucking scrap with him, you know what I'm saying?
Heard it and told him to come upstairs and go outside. We're from London shooting. If you guys know...
So apparently they said, "Hey, Dan Miragliotta, you're going to push our guy and call him a piece of shit for showboating a bit in a fight, take a point away from a fight-ending position, and also have that little smirk on his face when a KO happens rather than rushing to help a fighter." Brother, this guy's a dumb meathead and he needs out. Nothing's going to happen, though. He'll be on another event. And sometimes, and I hate to say this, yeah, because I said this before about Tony Ferguson's UFC career, and some of these fighters that stick around too long, when BJ Penn was sticking around way too long. I said this before, someone's going to have to die. And everyone called me out for it, not knowing what I meant at all, because they just take some little clip and say, "Oh, he's the worst person ever," even though I've never really done nothing that bad. And everyone went after me for it, and I went, no, someone's going to have to die in order for people to take this serious, and that's bad. We don't need that to happen first before we start taking shit serious. When someone's this retarded in a job where people's lives are on the line, they should be stopped before it gets to that fucking point. Someone's going to have to die means, is that what it's going to fucking take before we finally step in and do something? How many more robberies for judges? But forget that for now. Bad stoppages like this, when you can clearly see someone's not fit for the fucking job. How many more times is it going to take? Plus, he fucking ruined the Usman Covington 2 moment as well. Just to go off on how fucking weirdly, like, controlling this guy is. When Usman and Covington were, like, having their moment after the fight.
And Colby Covington.
And they're saying, you know, I was just trying to sell it for you. All of this. Miragliotta's listening in, seeing what they're saying, and he hears, okay, they're making up, they're making friends. I know, it's get your money, bro, I know. And they started to go to have a bit of a hug and a embrace. They've had two, like, crazy scraps with each other. Massive fights, title fights at welterweight. All of this. Dan Miragliotta, I'm gay. I don't know if that means that. But then Miragliotta jumps in with this at the end.
Go kiss later, go back to the corner. Go ahead.
Well, you like...
Okay, all right. Let's ruin this, because go back to your corners, guy. It was the end of the fight. All right. I don't feel like I'm in control here. I'm not comfortable with you guys being the center of attention, because I'm a meathead tard that needs to lose his job. And that's the least of them all. There's more examples of this. But that's all I'll start with. Dan Miragliotta, man. A real problem. What's it going to take? How many more of these absolute blunders is it going to take? Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. You know what I actually feel like? I feel like Goddard. And listen, John McCarthy's making a comeback, guys. So I don't know if he'll be tolerating any of this bullshit anymore. I feel like some of these other referees are like, man, keep this guy. Have you ever seen Hot Fuzz when they send him to Sanford? Because you're making us look bad. You know what I mean? We can't have you running around doing all... You're making us all look bad. I feel like they want this. This is the opposite example of that. Where they want this tard there, so all the other referees, by doing the bare minimum, look like absolute gods at their job. That's how fucking bad he is. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Toodle pip. I'll see you later. Goodbye.